Well, good evening, everybody. It's Friday, it's 6 o'clock, which means it's time to play Board Game Smackdown, the show where comedians play board games, card games, party games, that sort of thing, live on the internet. My name's James. I like games, and thank you very much for joining us today. After Tuesday's show, which was one for the purists, we're back in the familiar surroundings of a Party Game Friday today. We're going to be playing some party games. Got some fun games, both by little British independent companies as well, which I'm delighted about. And also we've got a terrific panel of wonderful comedians who are playing. I just want to say, by the way, a big hello to our Patreon backers. Today's the first of the month, so anyone on Patreon knows what that means. Yeah, thanks, guys. That's appreciated. If you want to join in with the Patreon fun, you can become a Patreon for as little as $3 a month and get exclusive merchandise, content, and benefits. And some of the merchandise has started arriving already. The badges are here. We've got more merchandise coming on the way that's going to be going out to our Patreon backers. So if you're a big fan of the show, you can get on that, patreon.com/boardgamesmackdown. Right, enough ads. Let's introduce the panel to the show. First off, a comedian, musician, and author whose book, The History of Heavy Metal, is available now from the internet. It's Andrew O'Neill.
Hi. And in fact, the book is available here. That's where I keep them.
All your copies of it. Let's have a look at that. Wow.
These are the ones that, so my merch guys got some, and the shops, all good bookshops do, but yeah, they're there. I have just had my dinner, and I'm like properly tired, so yes. I'm gonna entirely pretend that I've just like worked out and had 8 coffees, but I want everyone to appreciate the act that I'm putting on, because I really just want to sort of sleep under a tree like a lion that's just eating the gazelle.
Okay, so we're an after dinner. It's an after dinner board game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also appearing today, a TV presenter and comedian, Lorna Pritchard.
Hi.
Hi, Lorna. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Yep.
Good, lovely to see. Thank you so much for coming to play. Do you play many board games, Lorna?
I just love Settlers of Catan, and that is it. So I often get invited to play board games. I say no, not unless it's Settlers of Catan. So,
well, a lot of people who watch this play Catan.
Is that what you've got for us today?
No, sadly, not Catan today.
Oh, well, that was my contract.
So work a way of making it any way interesting for the people watching or indeed playing. Also, in the
oh my God,
award-winning comedian who can be heard on BBC Sheffield in the next 7 days as part of their virtual comedy club, Nina Gilligan.
Hello. How are you?
All right, Nina. Oh, good. All right.
I'm very excited to be here.
Okay. Excellent. Lovely to see you, Nina, making her Board Game Smackdown debut. And finally on our panel today, the host of the Thomas Green Room on YouTube. Well, that would be Thomas Green.
I'm a comedian, but yeah, cool.
There he is. How are you doing, Thomas?
How are you?
Good, good. Let's get you all slightly bigger on the screen. Right. Thank you so much for coming and playing today, panel. It is a wildlife special today on Board Game Smackdown. Both our games are incredibly wildlife themed. So let's kick off straight away with our first game, which is one of my favorite little games that's come out in recent years. And it is called, there you go, Champion of the Wild. There we go. This is what the game looks like. This game is ace. It's got the artwork is terrific. If you want to get yourself a copy of it, you can go to championofthewild.com. There you go. This is a card game, ostensibly, and it's a card game where you guys are going to be having to argue your case. All right? Argue your case. Each of you is going to pick one animal to represent you in 3 different events, okay? And you're going to be making your case as to why your animal would win. And then you lot are going to vote for each other. We'll work out who actually would win the event based on the arguments put forward. All right? The best way to explain the game is to just start playing it. So what I did yesterday is I messaged you all with a hand of cards for game number 1.
Yeah.
You've got 5 different animals. All right. In a moment, you're going to have to pick one, just one of those animals to represent you in all 3 events. Okay, so you can only pick one for all 3 events. And the events from the event deck are event number 1. Let's see if you can see that. The egg and spoon race. All right. The artwork is brilliant and the detail on the cards is brilliant. Let me give you some information about the egg and spoon race that might help you make up your mind. Animals race over 30 meters whilst carrying a spoon with an egg balanced on top. If the egg falls, the animal stops until its coach, that's you, replaces the egg on the spoon. It says water lanes are available.
Okay.
And it says that flying is allowed if you start from the ground. Okay, so that's the rules of the event number 1, the egg and spoon race. All right. Event number 2 in the technical category is hide and seek.
Oh, okay.
Coaches take it in turns, once each, with opposing animals having 15 minutes to find a hiding place in a large stately home. The total time avoiding detection by all seekers is scored. Flying is allowed, but there are no special water provisions.
Damn.
Bear that in mind.
Damn it.
And the final category is in the power. The final event is in the power category, and that event is demolish a shed. All right. Animals must destroy a wooden shed, defined as knocking all parts to the ground as quickly as possible. Flying is allowed, and a water run-up is available. Right. So those are the 3 events. I've given you as much details about them as the game allows. So we got the egg and spoon race, we got the hide and seek, and the demolish a shed. From the 5 animals I messaged you yesterday, you need to pick one. All right. So have a think about what that is. Hello. All right. We're getting some messages in. Oh, I've disappeared off the screen.
Oh no. What are we going to do now? Oh, everyone hide, and then when he comes back.
Over.
Is this the hiding section? I'm actually hiding in like a house somewhere.
Does it matter?
I've just realised I was doing some crafting, and these could be my
Hello.
Hi.
There we go.
Oh my
think-
gosh.
Wow.
That might be at my end. That might be my internet there.
I love how Sally's commented saying the picture is great quality tonight, and James disappeared.
Yeah.
What an
So we have
improvement.
also had one saying can't see it. So you know the comments are already arguing. Remember, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment underneath and we can see the comments. So do keep them coming in. We do enjoy seeing those. Right. Hopefully that technical snafu gave you enough time to choose which animal. So let's find out what you've picked. Andrew O'Neill, which animal have you chosen?
Gorilla.
A gorilla.
Yeah. Probably my favourite animal on the list anyway. But yeah, I think a gorilla.
What did the gorilla beat out there?
Crocodile, I thought would be bad at the egg and spoon because of lack of manual dexterity, and probably hide and seek because I'm not sure a crocodile is that aware of how long its tail sticks out.
Oh, that's
so
true.
I thought that would give it away. A hummingbird, which would be terrible at demolishing a shed, unless there's a sort of resonance set up by the hummingbird's humming. So in a kind of Tacoma Narrows Bridge situation. So in the unlikely event, you know, it's quite unlikely that the resonant note of a garden shed is going to match that of a hummingbird. And bald eagle, that, you know, it's just too patriotic American for my liking.
All right, fair enough. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Andrew's come to the gorilla. Lorna, what have you chosen, please?
Giraffe.
A giraffe. All right.
Yeah. It was tricky because I had A dolphin. I was thinking that was going to be excellent for the egg and spoon race, but then obviously there's no water. So are we not supposed to talk about all the different things yet?
Oh well, it's okay. It's okay. Just
well, anyway, it wasn't suitable for everything. Albatross. I don't know anything about them other than like they're dead around people's shoulders a lot, so that's very good. Tarantula. I thought would be quite fun, but yeah, I don't think like needs speed and stuff, especially after you said gorilla. And fruit bats, which I thought bats are not very popular at the moment, so that's not going to get votes.
Morale point of view, it's bad.
No, everyone's very cross. Fruit bats.
All right. Thomas, you're having a drink. Can I come to you, Thomas, and ask you what you've chosen, please?
This is a Colombian coffee.
Oh, you.
I'll be honest, I was really struggling because you've given me such a diverse range of animal, all land or water, and so many of them would absolutely just smash a shed apart. I've got a great white shark and a killer whale, but you did say that there's no water advantage in hiding in the house. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, God, I think I'm going to actually
go for something funny. Go on. Let's go.
I'm going to go with a brown hare.
The brown hair. All right.
Because a brown hare they use their paws together anyway, so he could hold the spoon. And I'm thinking with the shed, just gnaw at the wood.
All right. We're going to get into all the events. To allocate the animals to you guys, well, I did deal out hands onto my table yesterday, and so there you can see that's the hare.
Oh, really pretty.
So I brought it down in it round here. And finally, Nina, what animal?
Well,
have
I
you
thought
chosen?
I was going to go giant octopus because that was going to smash the egg and spoon race. But then you brought the water thing in just to ruin it. Porcupine
does have a water lane.
Yeah, but then for the second event in the stately home, there was no water category, was there?
It might have a bath.
Might have a bath. But then in the end, and you'd given me a porcupine that frankly was useless in all events. So then it was just a matter of
the egg.
Yeah, but then I was going to ask additional questions, but then you went offline, so there was nobody to ask. In the end, I had to go to the lion as a matter of elimination. But then I had a genius idea because the lion could easily hide in a stately home as a rug.
We'll get on to that.
I think a lion would be the best as a stately home rug. So,
all right, so we got the lion.
Lion is my
from Nick. So this is quite the heavyweight contest in terms of the animal kingdom. It's gorilla versus giraffe versus lion versus brown hare. It's the death for the brown hare, I think. But it's all about the case that you guys make. So we will start with the egg and spoon race. There we go, egg and spoon race. Andrew, talk us through how the gorilla's going to do in the egg and spoon race, please.
As long as I can get her to run in the right direction, that's my main worry. Gripping, no problem. Balance, dexterity, higher brain functions, among the animal kingdom, among the best. But and speed, obviously, when gorillas go for it, they really go for it. But I think what I'm going to have to do is either put something very frightening to the gorilla on the start line, like maybe a picture of deforestation.
Okay.
And then at the end, perhaps I could dress up as a sexy man gorilla,
like Baloo the bear.
Yeah, for example, and entice the egg-carrying female towards me. I mean, I don't know what the degree of queer culture there is among the gorilla community. I've gone straight in with a hetero gorilla couple, and I apologise to any any gorillas watching who feel excluded by that. But I think I'm gonna set up like a carrot and a stick, basically. So a terrifying picture of the destruction of its natural habitat at the start, and just and like I'd unveil it and go, oh, look at that, right, and then peg it down the other end. And then put on my, sort of like, imagine like a Chippendale gorilla with like this little collar and the cuffs, right? That sort of thing. And then like maybe a fireman's uniform.
A fire gorilla.
Yeah, because as soon as that gorilla, because that gorilla is going to go one way or another, but it has to be in the right direction is all I'm worried about. So that's going to be my coaching strategy.
All right. That's a very impressive strategy there. Thank you, Andrew, for that. Lorna, you have a giraffe in the egg and spoon race. How's that?
Yeah, I think we're feeling really confident, actually, me and Giraffe, Jeff. He's got the fastest stride of all land mammals. He only eats plants, so he's not going to be tempted to eat the egg. I just think he's going to be very calm and level-headed in it. And I think having a lion in the race is going to give that edge of adrenaline to Jeff. I pulled like shit. But he's going to have better pacing, I think, better stamina than a lion. And I think also, I'm sure I've seen it on either a documentary or the Jungle Book or something, that you can ride giraffes. So if Jeff needs extra encouragement, I only weigh 8.5 stone. I think he could probably carry me over the finish line. And if it's neck and neck with another animal, doubt it with these losers, long neck, long tongue. So the tongue could be just holding that egg forward for a photo finish.
You got that neck and then the tongue as well.
Yeah, like that.
That's a real advantage.
That goes over the finish line. Yeah, it is. After all, it is a race. After all, that's another very strong case. Let's go to Nina. You've got a lion in the egg and spoon race. How's that going to work?
Yeah, well, everybody else in the race is basically prey. So I think I'm in quite a strong advantage if I maybe just like blindfold the lion to start with, give them a little bit of a head start, and then maybe take the blindfold off and let the lion go. I think with me on the lion's back and kind of with the egg and spoon balanced in its mouth, I reckon we'll make it over the line with a few. Yeah, I reckon we'll come first.
Would you think that
and probably? I realise this is a poor case. We're going to be heavily distracted.
Do you think he'll be able to hold the spoon in his mouth steady enough, the lion, with the prey around?
I think a little known fact about lions: they're like Labradors. They can gently hold eggs in the mouth.
Okay.
Something you didn't know, James.
Right. Well,
yeah.
Where will the spoon go?
Was that necessary? Did they?
The spoon race. Spoon is 50% of the.
Pardon? Yeah, I think we'll do some training. Maybe there'll be a couple of weeks run up. I'll have a whip. Yeah,
right. Point out that all the fictional animals in Champion of the Wild are treated incredibly well. All right, thank you, Nina. And finally, Thomas, you've got your brown hair there. What's that going to happen?
James, there's a reason why they say win by a hair.
Oh.
Everyone else has been killed by their chosen animal. We don't even have to start the race, mate, because Andrew has whipped out the costume. The gorillas realise it's an imposter. Bang, dead. Lorna has fallen off the giraffe. Dead. I don't even have to mention the lion with Nina. So I suppose the least threatening animal that also has dexterity and doesn't just hop. It can actually crawl along, can maintain control with the egg and spoon while everyone else is getting murdered. We just slowly get to the end. And all I have to do is be at the end with a carrot.
All right.
I was with you until the crawling.
Yeah. It's like you've never met a hare before.
Also, the thing, hares are that quick, right? He'll be at the finish line before he drops it.
Yeah, you just got to hope that he doesn't get cocky on the way and have a little sleep.
I should have picked tortoise. I
just
should have
lucky
picked
there's no
tortoise.
tortoise.
You don't have to worry though, because everyone else isn't even competing because they didn't even make it to the end of the race.
All right. So, guys, what we need you to do now, hopefully you've got something to write in and write on next to you or something. Yep. Can use a phone if you want. You've got to rank. You can't vote for yourself, obviously, but you have to rank the 3 other animals in the race, first, second, and third. Okay? So there's the gorilla, the giraffe, the lion, and the brown hare. Don't include your own. Rank the others in the order you think they would finish in the egg and spoon race, and then we'll come to you, get those, and we'll sort of aggregate them to get the actual winner of the egg and spoon race. All right. While they're doing that, by the way, keep your comments coming in, guys. If you have a strong opinion about who you think would win the egg and spoon race, then really you need to get out more. But that's true of everyone at the moment. So it's fine. You can send your comments in, and we will accept them. If you're enjoying the show, you can make a one-off donation at paypal.me/BoardGameSmackdown. You don't even have to have a PayPal account to do it. It's just a one-off thing. If you're enjoying the show, and what we always say is, we say, if you'd buy us a pint to put the show on for you, that bung us the price of a pint to PayPal there. Money that we get in for that all gets split between the acts and everything. We're all had our work completely taken out forever at the moment. So anything would be appreciated. Right. Let's find out then what you voted for. Andrew, what's your 1, 2, 3?
Number 1, giraffe, which I initially went in with 2 R's.
Okay.
And then realised my terrible mistake. Number 2, hare, and number 3, lion. I was very much persuaded by Thomas's the lion killing Nina thing. I don't think a fall from a giraffe would kill Lorna, because as she said, she only weighs 8.5 stones. So it'd be like a cat or a bird falling to the ground. But the lion is definitely going to kill Nina, I suspect, long before, I think, in the training stage. So that's why. So I think, that's my my ranking.
Lorna, what do you think? Let's have a look. Have you done drawings? That's incredible. So
Well, I love that.
lion at 1.
Yeah, I was quite convinced that actually.
Yes, Lorna.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's just don't know where that came from. But yeah, I think the lion would be like, there's loads of prey here. This is exciting, and I just really go for it. So I was really convinced of that. And then the hare, is very good at crawling. We all know that. So would naturally crawl its way to second place.
Crawlers, yeah.
Yeah. And then with the gorilla, I just thought, Andrew, I feel bad now after you gave Jeff first place, but I thought he's got tiny legs. So I thought he might just not do that well because
speed issue.
It was like he was using something to swing his way through, but unless he used his knuckles, I don't know. So I just wasn't sure he was going to do that well.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's all right.
Good reasoning. Nina, what have you voted for here?
Lorna, I feel terrible now. I feel awful.
Good.
Because I've gone hare, gorilla, and giraffe. But I have to explain giraffe because, Lorna, I was worried about how it'd hold the egg and spoon.
What? You're not worried
that was my lion?
Stupid lion?
No, I was very worried about my lion. I was very worried about your giraffe. I was concerned. I was also concerned about my lion with your giraffe, but it took a fancy. I thought with the gorilla, I thought it had good dexterity, but I bought the whole story with Tom's hair. I was enthralled. Apart from the crawling, you sort of lost me at crawling. They don't crawl, Thomas. But apart from that, good. Well done. Although the premise is bonkers, but well done.
Okay.
Sorry, Lorna. You look hurt.
No, it's okay.
We're not taking it personally. It's only a bit of stuff and nonsense. All right. Thomas, everyone's been enthralled by your hair once again, but What have you voted in this race, the Egg and Spoon race?
I'll be honest with you. First of all, can I just say before I let you know my votes, James, that the hare, when I said crawl, I don't mean like, I kind of meant how they sort of
Commando.
walk along on all fours is what I meant.
I see.
Which, you know.
Doesn't
But
change it.
Like an animal would.
With gorilla, giraffe, lion. The reason I went with gorilla is I think Andrew smashed out the park there because they're the most human-like creature, right? Unless you're looking at the DNA of a pig, right? And you've got gorillas have got the dexterity. Yeah. They can walk on twos and they can hold both with both hands. Massive advantage there. The giraffe, I only put that above the lion because Nina's dead. there's no, I'm sorry, but Nina wasn't going to ever survive. So I went with giraffe as default by number 2.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your votes. I can reveal then that the result of the Egg and Spoon race is that in 4th place would be Nina Gilligan's lion. In equal second, joint second, maybe with a neck and a tongue coming into play, would be Andrew's gorilla and Lorna's giraffe. And in 1st place would be Thomas Green's brown hair. Oh my God. Hello there.
Wow.
Such was the shock there.
And you know what? He did crawl like this.
All right, that's the Egg and Spoon race done. Moving on to the hide and seek. There we go. I'll read it out. Coaches taking into blah, blah, blah. Animals have 15 minutes to find a hiding place in a large stately home. The total time avoiding detection by all seekers is scored. So let's start with Thomas. You won the last event, so we'll start with you. Brown hair in the hide and seek. How's that going to go? What's the strategy there?
I feel like in a stately home, they will have a lot of taxidermy or a dedicated room, right? And I know that naturally people would think of the hare as game, and I feel like other people in this round potentially were thinking the same thing. Now, I feel like if I was going to go look for an animal, that would be the first place I look. So the hare has got the natural advantage of burrowing underground. So you're not going to find it. You go outside and burrow under. Because I'm assuming...
I'm just having a look at the card. It says, in a large stately home. It says nothing about grounds.
They have an indoor garden. It could include like a greenhouse, right, where they keep all their plants. No, all right. If I can't burrow under the ground, you've kind of thrown me under the bus there, mate. But
what?
All right, fine. In the stately home, there would obviously be a family living there, I'm assuming, or they might have had a former child that maybe had a
former child. You mean
a former child who is now an adult. And so in the old children's bedroom, they'll have an arrangement of plush toys, and the hare could hide like E.T. amongst all the plush toys with its hair.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you, Thomas. Nina, you're hiding a lion.
It's a big animal to hide, isn't it? But I'd sort of given this away earlier, hadn't I, Thomas? Because this is what you were suggesting, because I thought it'd make an excellent rug, wouldn't it? In front of the flat fire. Pardon?
No one's going to walk over that.
No, because lions are like mice, aren't they? They have collapsible spines. Didn't you know that? So they can collapse. They can get under doors if they need to.
It's true, that's true.
They're like the big cats, aren't they? They can flatten themselves if needed. So it would just flatten itself in front of the fire and open its mouth and make a lovely rug. And it can do that like that, James. It can do that. Have you seen my profile picture? It can do that for about an hour, actually. So yeah, so a lion can collapse its spine.
Okay.
You don't look convinced.
Well,
you told me a hare could crawl. So, and you won that round on that basis.
All right,
So
let's
I think
go.
if we're allowed to use creative thinking, a collapsible lion rug.
All
There you
right.
go.
Okay. Lorna, you're going to
Yeah.
hide a giraffe there.
Oh God, I think it's like one of the easiest things you could hide in a stately home. Think of all the places like there's bound to be a disused fireplace, isn't there? So you can get the whole neck up there and then just hide with a bit of a fire guard, hide behind any long curtain. So any big door, anything with a big long curtain, behind a column, in a conservatory, which you should have said, Thomas, a conservatory. There's bound to be some trees that the Jeff could easily
I
hide.
always thought that we couldn't have a conservatory.
No, you said indoor garden, not conservatory.
Yeah, but then James convinced me I had to switch it.
Well, it's because you said burrowing. You can't burrow in a.
I
Yeah,
think
you can't burrow
burrowing
in
is
a
against the spirit of hide and seek as well.
Yeah. You can even, I believe I'm right in saying that giraffes can even get their necks down a U-bend in a toilet, and they can hold. I mean, because we're doing fantasy animal facts. Apparently, they can hold their breath underwater for 2 hours. So,
Who is bullying a giraffe to the extent? Going into the toilet. Oh man, alive!
I don't think we need to, because obviously hiding in a fireplace is genius, isn't it? So it's even like the right color to sort of just suggest, there's a nice crackling fire on there. So perfect.
Yeah, it's the first thing to do, isn't it? When you, if you see a fire, step number one: do check it's not a giraffe.
We've all been caught out.
It's part of the fireman's code. Right, Andrew, the gorilla.
Obviously, everyone's thinking, the bulk is a problem, but the clambering ability is going to get that gorilla where it wants to go. She's going to get herself. She can go up bookcases, because I'm thinking few people look up when they're playing hide and seek. I've never looked. So she can hold onto a chandelier. She could climb onto the top of a bookcase, top of a curtain rail. I think that's the main advantage. Or she could pretend that she's doing an online version of the Edinburgh classic. A young man dressed as a gorilla, dressed as an old man, sits in a rocking chair for an hour and then leaves. And basically, what the gorilla will do is dress up as Alexis Dubus, who got nothing to do with that show, and so be in a rocking chair, and people just be like, "Oh, that's either a very unfortunate looking old lady or some sort of cult fringe event." So I think there's optionality there with the clambering and the pretending to be a cult show.
All right, a good arguments put by everyone. So once again, guys, don't vote for yourself, but you can vote for each other, obviously. In a 1, 2, 3, the gorilla, the giraffe, the lion, and the brown hare in the hide and seek round, please. If you're watching on YouTube, please, do the thing that YouTubers say. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would help us out, guys. This is the 11th Board Game Smackdown we've done since lockdown started, and they're all on there. You can watch them all. There's some great shows. We've got Jason Manford's there, Laura Lex is there, loads of brilliant comedians playing all kinds of fun games. There's Balderdash from last week. We've played games with actual boards with varying degrees of success. The Jaw is a good show. It is the longest show, but it is good quality. So do check those out if you're on YouTube. That's where you can find us. Just search for Board Game Smackdown on YouTube. You'll find us there. Or, of course, BoardGameSmackdown.com. All the details are there. Right. Have we got the votes in?
Yeah. I've also got a cat here, and I'm very interested in collapsing its spine just to see if that...
Yeah, done.
It does work, Laura. Just don't go.
Let's try and collapse a cat live on the internet. Let's not.
Castro's not afraid.
I think someone had to resign for that this week.
Thomas, how did you vote?
I have gone with
Gorilla.
Gorilla. Andrew did again make a very convincing argument about gorillas being able to clamber upstairs. You're not going to look.
Yes.
I can't. Giraffe was straight out. I mean, try and get the thing in the stately home for a start. And then it's just so massive. You can not see it. And I don't know how big the tree is, but I don't know what kind of plants they've got going in there. Like a palm tree, even if you cover the neck, its ass is going to be sticking out. And then I think the lion was
constituent parts of a giraffe there: the neck and the arse.
I think the lion by default has to come in at number 2 because you could have the lion. You know, I like that, and that feels very stately. So you wouldn't maybe necessarily clock it as being real. You walk in and go, oh, and then leg it. So I've gone with gorilla 1, giraffe 3, lion 2.
All right, thank you very much, Thomas. Right, Nina, how have you voted, please?
Right, I've gone. Here we go. I've gone giraffe number 1, and I've done an actual little picture of how a giraffe looks exactly like a fireplace. That, Lorna? Done a little infograph for you because look how its markings look like bricks.
It's not. It's Thomas that needs convincing. Yeah.
There you go, Thomas. And Thomas, you can fold giraffes. Thomas, giraffes are foldable. Cats collapsible. Giraffes foldable for future reference. So well done, Lorna.
Thanks.
I did like though, Thomas, I have to say you totally pulled it back on the hoof or on the paw, should I say, when you put your little hair as a little toy for the dead child.
Yeah.
I thought it was lovely. It's really cute. Really cute, that. Very nice. Nothing wrong with the gorilla sort of hiding, but it didn't have a sort of second use, did it? That was all I was worried about, Andrew.
No, it would have to be not seen, yeah. It would have to be out of eyesight.
It was like I wanted it to have multiple uses. Like Thomas's was a toy for a dead child.
Yeah.
Lorna's was a fireplace.
I think that's fair enough, Nina. I accept your judgment unreservedly.
It's not personal, Andrew. It's not personal, but no, I liked it how they had double uses. So on this occasion, Andrew, but I did like it that it could be a cool Edinburgh piece. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that room.
But then you had 2 goes.
Optionality is optionality.
It's a bit cheaty, I thought, and I noticed James didn't pull you up, but never mind.
A lot of money has changed hands before we started this. So.
But no, well done, Lorna. I can totally see you on Giraffe fireplace. Oh. There you go.
There's the bride.
If only I had a spare pound to take.
All right. Okay, so we got the votes in from Nina. Let's go to Lorna. What did you go for in this event?
Gorilla number 1.
Gorilla 1.
Hare 2. I'm so sorry, Nina. The lion's number 3, only because I haven't managed to get Castro to see if the spine collapsing works yet.
It's all right. You need to test it.
Look, you can see in the fireplace might be a cheeky little giraffe there.
And do your Patreon customers get to see the special edition of Lorna with her cat afterwards?
Yeah, we'll do that as a special benefit for anyone who's
there's a Netflix special there.
I thought it was really convincing because I play a lot of hide and seek, just me in lockdown with the cat, and none of us ever look up. You know, that's the point, isn't it? And so I thought it was convincing, Andrew.
Thank you.
There may well be cats hiding up there, and I haven't found them in weeks. You know, so I've not checked the chandeliers. You know,
it's because they're flat against the ceiling, Lorna.
It was what? Sorry.
Because they're flush against the ceiling. The cat's flat.
And so would the gorilla be, wouldn't it? And also the bookshelf. So I thought it was very convincing. And the hair thing, I wasn't going for it, Thomas, until
There's the smallest creature out of all of them.
Oh, you didn't even say that. Yeah, that's so obvious. And it's like tiny little brown hair. But when you said about it being the dead child's toy, Yes, I'm going to go into a haunted child's room anyway to check.
I've never been to a stately home that is not haunted.
We should have the giraffe. We should have shoved the lion and the gorilla in the dead child's room as well. But yeah, you're right. So that was good arguments. That's how you just pipped the possibly collapsible lion to place there.
Okay. Andrew, let's find out what you voted for. Please.
Sure. Okay. So I've gone this. Here's my order. Now, giraffe. The thing. What's the most flammable animal in the world? It's the giraffe, isn't it? The most flammable animal.
Is it?
Everyone. It's it's like potassium. Very reactive. It's the most reactive of all. It's the most flammable. I mean, giraffes they will just go up. They just go up. And so
the legs are like kindling, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree they're foldable, and I agree they look like a fireplace. But that's the problem, Lorna. Someone's going to start a fire, and the whole house is going to go up. So that's I'm sorry you didn't realise that fact, and I'm glad you know it now before you go and train Jeff. The lion, I put lion number 2. Just like great idea, loved it. But here's the thing: the hare. Here's advice now, because of course. Nina's told us that lions are squashable. Lorna's told us that giraffes are foldable. But what you may not know is that hares are soluble. And so all the hare needs to do is dissolve itself like squash in a beaker of water, hang out for a while. People just think it's a sort of brown drink, and I don't know about you. I'll see a brown drink and I don't dive in. I leave that alone. So that's why the hare would win.
Key fact, Andrew.
Solubility.
Yeah.
This has just come in from a viewer. The house is not haunted.
Susan is.
Is Susan there?
That's a reference. My band, the Men That Will Not Be Blamed for Nothing, have a song called "This House Is Not Haunted," and Susan is one of our friends. So.
She's also said, "I think you mean tortoises are the most flammable animal. It's the shelter." That's beautifully done.
Well done, Susan. Well done, Susan.
For that, you get a recognisable joke. It was like when they come in for the comments about the comedians. Thanks very much. Nice. Keep comments coming in, guys. We enjoy all of them. So, all right, I can reveal then the results of the hide and seek based on your votes are in 4th place and being found almost immediately, according to this, the lion, Nina Gilligan's lion. In 3rd place, Lorna's giraffe. In 2nd place, Thomas's brown hare. But in 1st place, Andrew's gorilla.
Thanks, everyone.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, I think she's done well. She's, it's not me, it's her. It's her dexterity and climbing ability, and the simple fact that we don't look up. That's good. Thank you. She'll be pleased with that.
Good.
If I can ever find her. No, I haven't bothered.
I'm not going to. I'm just never going to. All right, I'm moving on to the 3rd and final event in the game of Champion of the Wild. It is Demolish a Shed. Just a reminder, animals must destroy a wooden shed defined as knocking all parts to the ground as quickly as possible. Okay. Water run-up is available, but we don't need that. None of our animals need that. Flying is allowed, but none of our animals... I mean, it's an all-mammal affair. This version of Champion of the Wild. So what the game looks like, by the way, guys. If you're having fun playing this, it is a fun game to play with friends. It's just a game about arguing. You're not. Oh, never mind. But you can get it from championofthewild.com. There you go. Made by an independent British designer, guy based out of Oxford, if I remember. Kickstarted it a couple of years ago. It was always been a firm favourite of our live shows. Right, moving on to the 3rd. It is Demolish a Shed. Let's find out how you guys would approach that. Nina, you're currently in trailing with a lion.
Place.
Yeah.
I know.
So how would the lion do in the demolishing a shed? This is your chance to get back into the game.
Well, lions are basically big versions of cats. That's facts, aren't they? Yes. So, and I think it's just a scratching post, isn't it? Now, if you've ever seen a cat scratch a bit of your furniture, then you'll know that it can demolish that in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it just will use it as a bit of a scratching post, and within 10 seconds it will be shredded into straw, which it will then donate to the hare as a lovely little bed.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
it's trying to gain votes from the other competitors. And when the hare can't eat all the straw, maybe the giraffe can eat some of it, and I don't know what the gorilla can do with it, but the gorilla always gets the votes, so
You're going for the underdogs.
who gives us, who cares? But I think it will be the most efficient at doing it because it's attracted to wood and scratching, so it'll have that done in a heartbeat, like that.
All right.
Did you see that?
A good case put forward by Neil Gilliam for her lion in the demolish a shed category. Let's go to Lorna.
Oh, well, Giraffe. Jeff is big and strong. His neck is like a wrecking ball. It's like really strong. You like whack it right. He can start right from the top very fast. Hooves are incredibly powerful as well. Just kick those doors down. But wouldn't need to use any of those things because, as we all know, giraffes are highly flammable, and Jeff can just set that shed on fire, burn it down to the ground within seconds. So it doesn't even need to use all those other amazing qualities that makes Jeff perfect for demolishing a shed, because giraffes haven't evolved, all these years haven't stayed with us without knowing how to use their fire powers. He knows how to do it, and just kindle it from his tail and step back to a safe distance.
Yeah, fire is a legitimate way to demolish a shed. Kids. So please don't demolish a shed unless you wanted to. Andrew, the shed demolition.
Well, I've got a plan for this. So obviously we know that gorillas are immensely strong. One of the strongest animals, for their weight. And what I would do is I would sit my gorilla inside the shed, and then I would screen the seminal Sigourney Weaver film Gorillas in the Mist. And at the point at which, about 120 minutes in, Diane Fossey is murdered.
Spoilers.
That gorilla is going to go completely ballistic. She's gonna want to lash out at everything. And what I've done is on the inside of the shed, I've drawn poachers. So she's going to be lashing out. You killed Sigourney Weaver, stroke Diane Fossey, and that shed's going to be gone. It's going to be matchwood. So I mean, it's like a really long fuse because she'll have to get through the whole film. And frankly, getting her to pay attention to the whole film might be a bit of an issue. I might have to stand up, dress up as a gorilla Chippendale again behind it, and just go pay attention to the film.
To dress up like a gorilla chip.
I'm glad you gave me gorilla, to be honest.
The problem with that, though, I think it's a very good argument, but does the 120-minute runtime of Gorillas in the Mist start when the competition starts? Because that's 2 hours.
Is it okay? Is it speed with which we demolish the shed?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, vote me last then, really. Just take me down last. I've shot myself in the foot, haven't I, really? This is,
I won't bother then. All right, marvellous. And Thomas, the brown hair in the demolish a shed category.
And here comes the play. The reason I chose the hare in the first place was purely for this one, because in Australia, hares and rabbits are known as a pest in rural Australia, and farmers have to set up external rabbit fences and hare fences around their sheds because they actually gnaw away really rapidly and can actually take down sheds. So you've got that option where it can take down the wood very quickly and take on supports. The other option is a wooden shed isn't often well constructed with its support under the ground. So a hare can burrow straight under, shed, falls over on itself, Job done.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. Some very strong arguments there, guys. But you're the ones who are going to have to decide what order the animals will come. Of course, we've got the gorilla, the giraffe, the lion, and the hare. Don't vote for your own. Vote for the other three in an order. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Just a reminder, guys, if you're watching and you're enjoying the show, you can make a one-off donation to paypal.me/BoardGameSmackdown. That's our virtual tip jar. You think the show's worth something? We'd appreciate it. If everyone watching this gave a pound, you'd have, some pounds, and that would be appreciated. I used to be really good at bucket speeches at the live show in Edinburgh. I've been in lockdown for 6 weeks, and but there you go. It's just, I'm grateful anyone watches the show at all. And if you think it's worth something,
it was free to come in. It's not free to leave.
Yeah. Take out your donation, fold it up. This doesn't really work with online payments. But there you go. Right. Let's find out the results that you guys come up for the Demolish or Shed game. Nina, how have you voted?
Oh, right. Okay. So I've given you hair for Thomas, because it was very factual. It was just for common sense. I just thought you used a cultural reference that I couldn't argue with. I thought I've never been to Australia. Might not be true, but you told it so convincingly. I thought he's right. They do. They come underneath that rabbit-proof fence, and those sheds are collapsing all over.
Yeah.
I went for giraffe because that's also true. They are highly flammable. We've now established that, Lorna, haven't we?
Yeah,
it's true. And I feel really bad because the gorilla was actually my favourite story, Andrew. It was my favourite story, but because of the time. Because of the time it was going to take, Andrew. You
Don't
just let
blame
yourself
me.
down.
Blame Stuart Baird, who edited Gorillas
Yes.
in the Mist.
I will, because he should have put, if he'd have put that in the intro, if she'd have been murdered in the intro, that would have made that.
Up. Disney's Up.
Yeah. They need to re-edit it.
Yeah.
So that will work.
I think I need to re-edit it.
It was my favourite story.
Thanks, Nina.
It was.
Thank
my
you.
favourite because I loved it. All right.
Thank you very much. Nina, let's find out what Lorna thought.
Well, I didn't think any of them were that convincing. I'm going to be honest, everyone. But I thought Lion, would probably do the best job out of a bad lot there. So the Lion got no. But
Thank you.
Have you written this down in Wingdings?
Sorry.
Looks like your font choice on your page is Wingdings. I can't.
Oh, that's just my scrolling. Yeah, and also I was quite tempted because I thought the giraffe would be exhausted at the end of the competition, whether Jeff had won or not. We all know Jeff would win, and would probably want some of this straw that you were bribing us with, Nina. So I was very tempted by that. And then I couldn't decide between hare and gorilla, and it was only the time issue because I thought, the hare is really good actually, burrowing, useful burrowing. But I felt like maybe if the hare had got some of his mates or her mates involved, but I just don't think that they'd be able to do it within 2 hours.
120 minutes, yeah.
So I figured that even if it is just at the very last minute, I think gorilla would have it. Or maybe you'd put on that Cadbury's chocolate advert on, and the Phil Collins drumming would go on, and that would really power the gorilla to get that shed down by second place. Yes, that's what I did.
Thank you.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lorna. Andrew, what's
Okay.
please?
The hare. I don't believe Thomas at all about this story. I don't think there are rabbits and hares in Australia. I don't believe you. I've heard stories that there are. I've seen it on the news. I've seen documentaries, and I've read actually a very well peer-reviewed book that talks about the problem of the introduction in hares, but I don't believe any of it. So there you go. The giraffe number 2, right? Giraffe number 2. Look, 5G has caused coronavirus, all right? And yes, the science doesn't, but this made me not believe, because I believe that so much, I've stopped believing in all science. So, giraffe number 2. Now, right? Yes, it would work, but Is self-immolation something we want to be coaching our animals into? I mean, that giraffe is going to go up quicker than the shed. And lion, now, we're underrating, I think, up until now, one of the abilities of a lion, and that is to make herding animals bolt. So if you've got a load of gazelle or wildebeest, right, all you do is you get your lion like a sheepdog to herd the wildebeest, boom, straight down. That's like that shed. That shed. You're not gonna see it for dust and hooves and horns. So I think the lion.
That was a better idea than mine.
But you'd have come to it, but Nina, by the time
Tom.
we actually do this, because I don't know if anyone at home is aware, we do now have to
Train
carry
our
out all of it's got to train out. I mean, poor Nina's going to die, but I think you'd have got there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think there's a lion.
Thank you.
Lion wins. Yeah, you're welcome. But this, I mean, come on, Thomas. No one's believing that. There's no such country, mate.
All right.
And I know because I've been there.
All right. Strong arguments. Thomas Green, what have you voted for?
Okay, coming at number 3. Right back at you, Andrew. It is the gorilla. So I've gone with the gorilla because Andrew has introduced the gorilla to film. And he's going to go through a realization of self-worth. And he's going to understand, much like in Planet of the Apes, that they're a lot smarter than we initially thought. And he's going to realize the importance of a shed and leave it standing.
And sort of just become like a handyman.
Yeah. And then you've got the giraffe, who I've gone in at number 2 because I did like the argument of it being flammable, right? And I thought those legs are quite spindly, like wood. They'd probably just shoot up. And then I thought that I did agree with you there that the giraffe would go up quicker than the shed. I thought the giraffe would burn and then tip over and collapse on top of the shed. And then that...
Are you burning something?
Oh my God.
Candle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't look, it looked like paper. Like you're like, yeah.
Sacrifice. And then finally I went with the lion purely based on the fact that my hair loves straw. And so that just straight up, I went, you know what, I have to go with the lion. Also, it's a very compelling argument. I've got 2 cats here and I've seen how much they scratched up my home, right? Not just my arms and limbs. I'm talking about all bits of wood, the corners of our doorway, everything. It's just unreal. So I think a lion, shed's gone. So I went with lion number 1, giraffe 2, gorilla 3.
All right. Well, I'm sure you've worked out by now who won that event, the Demolisher Shed. I can tell you in 4th place was Andrew Gorilla. 3rd place with Thomas's brown hair. 2nd place, Lorna's giraffe. And in 1st place, Nina Gilligan's lion.
Woo!
So a final event win. But now it's time to reveal the overall winner of this game of Champion of the Wild. So I've done some maths. I'm doing like a little hand thing spreadsheet there the whole time with points that I've allocated. I can tell you that in 4th place, no, not egg and spoon race. In 4th place, even though she won the final event in such a glorious way, it wasn't enough to get her out of the last position. 4th place was Nina Gilligan. In 3rd place, and this was only just pipped, in 3rd place was Lorna Pritchard.
Oh, Jeff.
Just pipping Lorna into 2nd place was Andrew O'Neill. But incredibly, this Champion of the Wild, no one saw this coming when the group was announced. It was Thomas Green.
Way!
Well done, mate.
Australia proud. And that is a country that does exist, Andrew.
We've proved that here. So, Thomas, the prize for winning Board Game Smackdown is you get to do the bucket speech. So, there you go. The information on the screen. We're coming over to you now.
Oh, hello. Here we go. Bucket speech. Well, as you understand, all of us here in our homes do not have an income because we can't perform. We've just performed for you in a virtual way of playing a game, right? And I just won with a hair. So if you think that that's worth a quid, a couple of quid, I've also just run out of my coffee, my Colombian coffee. Just buy us a coffee for a couple of pounds, because this is how these things cost a lot of money to put on. And James has actually put this all together. So, support a good cause. Comedians at home performing for you. This is a bi-weekly show. Make sure twice a week. How do you say twice a week? How do you say twice a week?
2 times a week.
2 times a week. Twice a week.
Bi-weekly?
Comedians playing a board game from the comfort of your own home. Why don't you chip in a couple of quid and keep us afloat?
Thank you very much, Thomas. That was a beautiful book speech. I appreciate that very much. As he says, we are twice a week, Tuesday and Friday at 6 is when it goes out live. And then it goes on to YouTube forever, presumably. Even if you're watching on YouTube in the future, you can still donate. I've never count. Right. Let's find out. What are you up to, guys? Who's got something they'd like to plug before we finish?
No.
I've got my show, The Thomas Green Room, that I do weekly. It's a funny video I put out on YouTube, on all the socials, at Thomas Green Comedy. Give that a follow. You can suss out. I'm also putting out content clips from the last year of stand-up. So make sure you check in at Thomas Green Comedy across all social media. Thank
you very much, Thomas. Anyone else got anything they'd like to plug?
Well,
I have, mate. Go on.
All right, we'll go to Lorna and then to Andrew.
Well, I was just going to say, if you took at Lorna Comedy, I'll have details up soon about virtual gigs that I'm in the process of sorting for the rest of the month. So at Lorna Comedy and your overall platforms, and you can find out more.
Thank you very much, Lorna. Andrew, what have you got?
I have my own Patreon, so patreon.com/Andrew O'Neill, and I'm putting lots of videos and readings of H.P. Lovecraft stories and things like that. And then all the other social media, just find me on Andrew O'Neill Comedy, and I'm doing online gigs and all that sort of nice business. And I'm now training a gorilla. 20 months for that.
You won't see.
Oh, you can, I might as well. Yeah, I feel like I should say. Yeah, follow me on at Highland Cow 71, and I'll let you know what I'm up to. This has been lovely.
Thanks. It's been lovely to have you. You've been a wonderful panel. Thank you so much for coming to play today. We're out of time. We had another game planned, but I thought that...
I've got to clap this cat's nine.
Sorry?
I've got to clap nine.
Well, you go and be a chiropractor for a king.
That should have been my bucket speech. I should have said, put a few extra quid in if you want to see what happens to Lorna's cat.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much for playing. You've been a wonderful panel. Thank you for watching, wherever you've been watching it. My name's James. I like games, and hopefully now you do too. That's all from Board Game Smackdown. Goodbye.
Bye.